Well, hello there, Capricorn. How are you? It is so good to see you again. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So today we are doing a really special reading. This is going to combine those beautiful new energies of the spring equinox and the new moon in Aries. The spring equinox is on March 20th, and the new moon in Aries is March 21st. But we will feel these energies literally for the next 6 months. So it's a great energy of starting new projects, new adventures, new businesses, new revelations. It's all about the new, but you will not see, you're just going to have that energy of being inspired right now to start something new, and you will not see it come into fruition until September, 6 months from now. So we're going to take a look at the overall energies for you over these next 6 months, and then we're also going to take a look at, some of the inspired insights that you will get here very shortly, and how you can keep your passion and inspiration going for the next 6 months. And then we'll finally see what is coming into play for you over these next 6 months. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Capricorn, this energy, this brand new energy, the new moon in Aries, is happening in your 4th house of home and family life. So this could be a great time for you to be starting, either moving to a new home, starting some renovations in your home, perhaps even adding to your family, new energies of adding new people to your family, whether that is through a wedding, or it could even be through actually, finding out that you're going to be extending your family by having a baby. So this is a lovely energy. And one of the things that we're going to first take a look at is what are some of the insights that you have learned over the last 6 months, in particular, over the winter months, because this is kind of the spring equinox is for the northern hemisphere, but this will be the fall equinox for those of you in the southern hemisphere. But what have you learned over the last 6 months? When I was doing my own reflection the other day, I was like, oh my goodness, so much has happened in the last 6 months. So sometimes it is a great time to just sit and ask yourself, what have you really kind of learned about yourself or the world in the last 6 months? And how is that going to come into play now in your home and family sector? So we'll take a look at all of that. And I am almost done having the cards out here. There's a lot to look at. So, this beautiful energy. Oh my goodness. Okay, I love this. So let's take a look at your overall energy in the flow. Everything is smooth sailing. And then we have the peacock spirit, let it shine. Yes, I feel like you're coming into, there is almost a new rebirth. And I feel like this is really interesting because Pluto is moving out of your 1st house and into Aquarius, your 2nd house. And, this is kind of like a new revival for you, Capricorn. This could have been, since 2008 when Pluto entered your sign. That was a process of really learning who you really are, kind of like a deep dive into you, your identity, perhaps your physical appearance, how you are showing up in the world, how you view yourself. And I'm actually going to do those Pluto readings. I'll be uploading yours on Wednesday of this week as Pluto moves into Aquarius. So this is such a beautiful energy with the spring equinox, new moon in Aries, and Pluto moving into Aquarius all in the same week. It's just kind of like, hold on. And all this fresh new energy is coming in. And I feel like finally, Capricorn, it's your time to shine. It's really your time to step into this peacock spirit and to know that over the next 6 months, things are going to really be flowing much more smoothly for you. All right, so let's take a look first. We'll go to the tarot now and take a look at what insights you may have gained over the last 6 months. So you have indecision, vast universe, and the high priestess. It's, okay, the energy that I'm getting here is that I think over the last 6 months, you have become better at listening to your intuition. So Capricorn, you could have, started out at the beginning of the last 6 months, at the beginning of that fall equinox, you could have actually kind of almost stepped into this energy, okay, of not trusting your intuition. Kind of like almost, with the peacock here, there's that ego energy, right? We always think of the peacock as being a little bit arrogant. And I think, over the last 6 months, one of the insights that you may have gained is that your mind can sometimes play games with you, right? It's about stepping back into your intuition, allowing, okay, your higher self to sometimes guide you through decisions. And I love this because I think that, at the very beginning of the last 6 months, you were not really in a realm of wanting to trust your intuition. And now what you're recognizing is that your intuition is truly helping you, is guiding you on your path. The things that were hidden from you before, okay, because you were trying to use your mind, your ego, instead of your intuition to make decisions or to try to figure out how things could proceed. It's almost like you're recognizing when I when I use my intuition, things aren't quite as hidden from me. So the big thing that I'm getting here is that let's take, for example, in your career sector, okay, you could have been following the rules, the regulations, kind of like, following all of this, but it's almost like too overwhelming, right? Once you stepped into being able to use your intuition and kind of like allowing your intuition to guide you about what is truly important. At the very beginning, you may have thought everything was important, and that could wear you out, right? Or when you're in a relationship, you could have been trying to figure everything out, but through conversations or really trying to get, the people in your life to kind of tell you what was going on. Now what you're doing is you're relaxing a little bit because you're allowing your intuition to guide you in these conversations, to guide you in decisions that you're making about your career and money sector and your relationships. So it's a much easier in the flow, right? That makes it so much easier when you don't have to. It's almost like at the beginning, you wouldn't make any moves unless you had the facts right in front of you, right? Your intuition is not the facts. It's just this gut feeling. You know the direction to flow in. And that is truly going to help you as you are navigating now in your home and family life. It's about understanding, okay, I don't have to necessarily always have to have a conversation and hash everything out. Part of it is that I can intuitively tell if someone isn't feeling a certain way, right? I can kind of tap into their emotions and then I can start the conversation from there. Wow, beautiful energy there for coming into this. I really feel like your biggest insight over the last 6 months is that when you use your intuition, things flow so much more easily for you. Okay, so now let's take a look at what steps you can take to align yourself with your true desires. So as we start this new moon in Aries, the spring equinox, right? The next 6 months, what would you really and truly desire to have come true for you? But it's not just kind of like, okay, that's what I want. It's also about, okay, how can I come more in alignment with what my heart desires? Oh my goodness. Look at this. You have happy success as sun and you have justice. It's about finding that balance. It is about finding that balance between your head and your heart. It's about finding that balance between the mind and the intuition. It's about finding that balance between excitement and fear, right? It taking action and sitting back and waiting. It's about finding that balance. I feel like that, there is a little bit where things have been holding you back because you weren't allowing yourself to make decisions 6 months ago, okay, based on your intuition. Now you're kind of like have this softer edge to you, coming into decisions, looking at things a little bit more intuitively, knowing, okay, I don't have to, and I don't want to say it's not about following all the rules. It's kind of understanding the priority of those rules. Like every single rule isn't at the top priority. Okay. I remember when I was teaching, right, we would have all these, all this paperwork we would have to do, and, administration, the school system was always, oh, this is top priority. This is top priority. And I initially would say, oh, all of this is really important. This is top priority. I have to put a lot of time and energy into this. But that wears you out. Over the course of time, you start to recognize, okay, what is the value that if I spend 4 or 5 hours on that report, is it really going to give me that much value? Kind of using your own discretion in the priorities, where sometimes maybe administration or people in your life are saying, this is a top priority. And you have agreed with it 6 months ago. Now what you're recognizing is everything's not top priority. I have to use my own discretion, right? And that helps you to bring in more balance into your life so that you have more energy. Understanding that, okay, I don't have to make everything a top priority. There are other things, perhaps like in your work sector, that your employer would like for you to make a top priority, but you realize, well, if I put all that time and energy into it, I'm going to have to work perhaps overtime or on the weekends and take away from my own time and energy for the things that I want to do for myself. So I feel like that is where you can take a deep step in alignment to your true goals, right? And your desires for yourself, especially in your home and family sector. And I think that that's why your career is kind of coming into this, understanding that you have to have a balance between work and home. If you want more time for your family and your home and making renovations or starting new projects, where are you going to get that time, that money, those resources, right? And understanding not everything is a top priority outside of that. You get to decide what the priorities are. Wow, beautiful energy. It really is kind of that sense of, understanding that when you put your time and energy into those things that really are a top priority for you in your life, right? That you don't have to fight fires all the time, right? Because you're really taking care of the things that are really important. Okay, so let's move on. Let's take a look at what new opportunities are on the horizon for you. Okay, you have community, you have the Lovers, and angels in 4 directions. So, I really get the sense that there are new connections coming in for you, especially in your home and family sector, because this new moon is in your 4th house. So it could be you're moving to a new community, right? Meeting new people, maybe even moving to a place where you feel like you will fit in more than where you have been living, right? I think for a lot of you, you could be having actually kind of like a new romantic partner coming in, or it could be that if you have a family right now and you have a committed relationship, that it bonds even deeper, that you're putting more priority into this because this is something that's really important for you. One of the questions to ask yourself is where would you like to be in 6 months in your home and family sector, right? What is it that you would like to see? What would be, the Sun is the happiest card, right? What would be that outcome? What would that look like, right? And knowing that when you take the energy to prioritize that, to prioritize what it is that you are wanting in your life, those opportunities will come in. So I feel like over the next 6 months, right, you're going to have more and more opportunities to build a soul tribe, to have, this sense of celebrating with family, with friends, and perhaps even having a new romantic partner come in, or to have those connections go to the next level, right? Even if you've been married for a long time, it's kind of like you may be like saying, okay, let's renew our vows, right? Because this is all about renewing. Or let's go on a vacation that we have really been wanting to go on for a while. Let's reconnect. It's almost this sense of reconnecting and perhaps bringing family back together. You know, there could be that you've had a rift in your family, or perhaps because the pandemic or something, you haven't been able to travel to go see family. There's this sense, this urgency within you, this inspiration to build that family unit back up for yourself in whatever way that might mean for you. All right, so now let's take a look at how you can fuel your passion and inspiration to create this, okay, to manifest, to bring in the opportunities in your home and family sector, and then to have the passion, the energy, the time, the resources to keep this inspiration going so that you can have your dreams come true in this sector. Okay, it's understanding that you are perhaps, look at this, okay, that you are holding yourself back, or you're allowing some things in your life to hold you back. Look, you have travel, and both of these are about traveling. You have the Chariot energy, so you could be dealing with a Cancer, but you don't have to be. But it is about traveling. It's about understanding that there's something here that you are holding on to, okay, that is preventing you from doing perhaps the traveling that you are wanting to do. Okay, so say once again, because you're in your home and family sector, right? Perhaps you're wanting to take your family on a vacation. Perhaps there are family members that you haven't seen in a while that you would like to go and visit, right? Perhaps you're wanting to travel to look for a new place to live, to look for a new soul tribe. There is this energy here where you are holding yourself back with the Deceit card. This is actually your energy, Capricorn, right? It's the Devil energy. It's understanding that the only thing that is holding you back is yourself, your mindset. Okay, so there could be a mindset of, well, I don't have time for it. I don't have money for it. Those people don't really want to see me. You know, there could be all kinds of different mindsets going on, but they're coming back to this, okay, is that perhaps, okay, there has been this energy of giving a lot, especially to, you know, your first house of Capricorn, right? During this since 2008, okay, where Pluto has been in your first house. There's almost this energy of feeling like, okay, I think you may have gone through kind of a time period where you felt like you didn't really need other people in your life, or you were trying to find your independence, a little bit of that. Or there could be that you had a lot of rifts with people in your family sector or your community, just because you were on this journey, okay, of just rediscovering yourself, of going deep, of understanding who you are. And when we go through that transformation, Capricorn, sometimes what happens is that we just kind of like energetically, at least, push some people in our life away, because we're kind of being in this introspection type of period, right? Kind of like going deep. And I feel like you may feel at this time, well, I pulled my energy away, especially maybe during the pandemic, right? I pulled my energy back in. I went through this time of introspection. And now it's kind of like, well, I have to put myself out there. There's almost this sense where you're holding yourself back, right? Maybe not wanting to take time off from work, maybe not wanting to spend money, okay, on traveling. There's almost this energy where you may have, they're coming back to this, the peacock, right? You may have kind of like a fixed mindset about traveling, about going and meeting new people, about taking family on vacation, or just going and having a really good vacation. It's almost this energy where you're holding yourself back, but asking yourself, and let's go ahead and clarify that, asking yourself, why are you holding yourself back, right? Whenever we hit a block like this, it's about asking ourselves that question. You know, what is it that I'm afraid of? Well, what is it that is preventing me? What truly is preventing me from going out and visiting relatives or moving. I think for some of you, you really are wanting to either move or travel or renovate your house, you know? Yeah, I think you just have your head down. You're working too hard. It's almost as if I want to stack my pentacles, right? It's kind of like, I think that your financial sector may have, you know, you have just finances. Okay. You have 4 pentacles, and very much this is your energy. That's earth energy, but it is also understanding that you are being asked to bring more balance, okay, into this sector. Asking yourself, where are you perhaps spending money that you could use in order to do the traveling, or spending it on having this fun time with family and friends, right? Reigniting these connections or starting new ones, right? For some of you, it could be also about, okay, how much courage it takes to put yourself out there, right? Because I feel like there's almost this energy of, you know, a little bit maybe of hermit energy there, kind of holding yourself back, protecting yourself, okay, which would make sense with Pluto being in your first house, okay, since 2008. Now it's kind of like Pluto is moving into Aquarius, and that's actually kind of showing up in this reading. It's time to spend time with others. Whereas when Pluto was in your first house, it was all about you. Now you're starting to turn outward and seek other people in your life. And it does take courage, because I feel like you've been almost like stuck, right? With that devil energy there, kind of like just stuck, thinking, oh, I'm just almost a sense of playing it safe, right? I feel like for some of you, there is some great adventure you would like to go on, perhaps with family members, right? And it's kind of like just holding yourself back, almost like holding yourself back because you feel like the money isn't worth, you know, you don't want to spend the money on that, or you feel like you don't have the time. You're putting a lot of things, okay, what they're saying, you're putting a lot of other things at a top priority. And you're coming into this energy of recognizing, okay, life is not all about stacking up all of that money, stacking up all this money, right? There is adventure in life, right? And sometimes we have to find that balance. It doesn't mean that you're taking you're emptying out your whole bank account and going on this trip, right? It's understanding that there is balance. I think for some of you, you may have had like a all or nothing type of mentality for some, you know, for some time, because Pluto was in your first house. And now what you're doing is you're recognizing, okay, I can balance things out. And it could be that for some of you, you're finally finding that financial security, right? You're feeling good about your career, your stability in life. And now it's time to kind of go ahead and have some adventure. I love that. All right. So now let's take a look at where you will be in 3 months. That will be the end of the spring season. We'll be moving into summer. So how will you blossom during the spring time? So we have, we have third chakra. Okay. I feel like you're really doing some healing in your third chakra about what you truly believe. Once again, I think your mindset has changed a lot since 2008. Okay. So there's a sense that you may see the world a little bit differently, okay, than you did in 2008. You may see what it is that you truly believe, especially in your home and family sector. I think you're taking another look at that, and you're kind of coming back to this energy of rejudging, okay, what family means to you. You know, is this an area where you want to make your top priority? Are the people in your family, because let's think about your family could be your, you know, a relationship, a committed relationship. It could be your children. It could be your parents, your siblings, right? It could be aunts and uncles. It could be people that you consider family that really aren't blood relatives, right? Like a really good friend or something like that. It's understanding, okay, I'm going to kind of reassess where I am putting my time and energy in different sectors. It could be that in the past you put everybody at this top priority. Now what you're understanding is, well, some of those family relationships are more aligned to what it is that I want in my life than other family relationships. And it's being very discerning. The High Priestess is understanding this discerning energy of kind of using your gut, not just analyzing it as everybody is the same. It's understanding, well, some of these people, I'm just jiving more, if you will, right? We're kind of like a little bit more of having a soul connection than others. It's really kind of an interesting energy because I think you're almost like worn out, because it's kind of like you've been putting so much time and energy into what you thought were your most important family relationships. And I think that that is changing for some reason, because with the third chakra, it's coming back to your core beliefs. What do you believe is good for you, Capricorn, rather than what does society say, or what does your upbringing say, right? It could be that there's a little bit of this energy of, from childhood, you have had this certain mindset about who in my family is supposed to be the most important. I feel like you're kind of like reassessing that, looking at it again. For some of you, there could be also this opportunity for reuniting, because the Judgment card is reuniting with family members that maybe you haven't seen for a while. For some of you, it could even be a committed relationship that you were in at one time that you may have separated from, and now there is a reunion there, which changes how your family will be working, right? So say you were married, you got divorced, and now you're coming back together again, or something like that. Understanding that impacts the whole family sector, and definitely perhaps your home life too. All right, so beautiful. In 3 months, I do feel like you are going to have almost like a different, it's a different mindset, but I also feel like you are really shifting the type of energy that you give to each of your different family members, soul tribe members, right? Looking at those closely. And I feel like you're almost like shifting your energy significantly, I think, for some of you. Significantly. Okay, so they're also coming back. You may be taking less time, you may be taking more time off from work, or not putting that as much of a priority, and spending more time with family. Making a decision that family is a top priority. No longer is, well, it's not that your financial stability isn't, that impacts your family and home life, right? But it's kind of like that. You're not allowing yourself to overgive perhaps in your work, and spending more time, deciding to spend more time with your family. All right, and now for 6 months from now, how will your efforts through this new moon in Aries play out? This will be in September. So what we set an intention for at the new moon comes into fruition at the full moon. So we have all tied up, and the moon and the milestone, really lovely energy. I feel like what you are understanding is that you may have in the past bound yourself to, because this is in your fourth house of home and family life, right? It's almost like you may have bound yourself, obligated yourself to certain family relationships that you're understanding are not an equal give and take. And that's where, in 3 months, how I said, you're really starting to shift the amount of energy you give to different family members, and then also to your family in general. I think what you're doing in 6 months is understanding how you deserve to have more. I feel like you're extending your energy not just to your family, but maybe also starting to bring in some really good friends, new colleagues, understanding that I don't have to be a blood relative for somebody to be part of my soul tribe. So you're almost like changing what you think is important as far as family, and understanding that you could actually have like a friend that you realize is you're closer to than you are to, say, one of your siblings. You're understanding it's not about being related by blood. It's about the energy of the connection. And I feel like that's what you're kind of understanding. What am I obligated to? You know, do I have to give as much? Do I have to give more energy to my family? Or can I give, energy to friends, as much as I do to family? Really shifting, really shifting even your mindset. I think you're even really shifting your mindset about who is family. In other words, it's a kind of an interesting thing. It really is coming more to that bigger picture of a soul tribe instead of family is blood relatives, right? And I think that what you're seeing is that when you kind of like allow yourself to surrender, okay, to surrender from the obligations that maybe have tied you, okay, to family situations, that you actually have more time for the things that you want for yourself. In other words, I wouldn't be surprised if for some of you in 6 months, it's kind of like you have a better grasp over the amount of time and energy, resources that you want to give to family. And it's about allowing yourself to take back perhaps some of the time, energy, and resources you have felt obligated to give to family, taking that back so that you can go after this dream that you have, right? It's kind of like recognizing, okay, am I giving too much to siblings or to my adult children or whatever it is, right? Am I giving too much of my resources, my time, energy, and money to that? And that is what is preventing me, okay, from having the journey, from having the adventures that I am really wanting to be able to experience what it is that I would truly like to have. For some of you, you may actually even want to really kind of like, they're showing me like almost like a financial statement, right? Like where is your money going when it comes to family and friends, maybe even the home, okay? And taking a look at that and asking yourself, oh my goodness, like if I could take some of that money back, what is it that I could go do with that money? Really beautiful energy there. And don't, for some of you, I feel like you're going to say, oh, well, that's selfish. No, it's not. You are deserving of this. That's what the energy is. It's about understanding that you have a lot of love to give. You are giving a lot of love, Capricorn. It's not about overgiving. It's about also experiencing things that you would like to experience. Allowing yourself to be a top priority on that priority list is about being a top priority and really and truly going on the adventure of your lifetime. I love it. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I really do appreciate all of your support through liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I do personal readings, so if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. All right, see you later, Capricorn. Bye for now.